Hey guys, this is day 5 learn SQL Server in 60 days. Today we'll see a lot of interesting things in SQL Server which are very important as a developer as a DBA. So today first of all I will start with some basic difference between the truncate and the delete. Then we'll move to the constraints and some identity value. How can we define some auto increment number? That thing we will discuss. So let me show you which points I'm going to cover today. So today I'm going to cover following points. Let's go one by one. What is identity and how to use it? So identity is something like a auto increment number. For example, I'm creating one table, let's say employee table. So in employee table I will be having a lot of distinct employee. So I want to assign some number which is an auto increment number which will be incremented by adding the number of employees. So I don't want to write any extra code for that, just want to insert the employee, right? So basically it's an auto increment number. So how can I define it and where can I find it first of all? So if you remember, last time we have created some test database with this one, day 1. Today we'll create one new database. And we will be giving it name as the day 5 demo database. Great. So this is my database. Owner is DBO. Great. Okay. Now this database will be created and we'll move here. So for just testing purpose, we'll create some table name as the employee, as I just discussed. So this employee table will be having a few columns. Let's say employee ID. Its data type is int. Allow null, no. Employee name. It should be a varchar of 100. You can give it as char 100 also. It's your choice. It should also not be null. Then department ID, it is int. It should also not be null. Great. So I'm saving it as save table. So let me show you. How to save it, but before that, as we are going to talk about auto increment number, I will show you how to do that. So this employee ID I want to make it as auto increment number. So how can I do that? Just go below in the section of column properties. There you will see a table designer. In the table designer you will see computed column specification and some identity specification, right? So you need to go to the identity specification. There you need to make it as a one. Basically is it identity column? Yes, you just need to make it as identity column. There you need to specify the two more properties there, the increment number. So by which number it will be incremented. Do you want to increment just by a 1, or do you want to increment by 10 or 100? It just your choice. Then identity seed is the starting value. So do you want to start it from the 1 or do you want to start it from some other value? So you need to specify here. So I'm specifying it as 1 because I want to start it from 1 and I want to increment it by 1. So I'm specifying it as a 1. I am saving this table and giving it name as employee and save it. So I just created a table called as the employee. I can see it here. If I come here and if I'll do refresh, I will see that table. Let's run that query. Select star from employee and change the database. run it. When I run it, I won't see any data because there is no data and I have not added. So I can see here there are 3 columns, but one column is a auto increment, that's identity column. So I only need to insert 2 columns in it. So writing a syntax, insert into employee, which are those 2 columns. Those columns are employee name and department ID, right? Then write some select statement to insert the data. First name the employee is Shrikant. Then department ID, his department ID is 1. Then I'm writing union. We'll talk about that in next one, what is union and what is union all, but just for now just assume you know it. So union all is just combining the result set. This is one my result set, this is second result set. I'm making it as a Prashant and the department ID as a 2. So when I select this entire block of code and when I execute this, 2 record will automatically added into employee table. But have you noticed one thing? I am only specifying 2 columns, but I haven't specified the employee ID column. So let me run this query again and see here. Here I will see the one number which is auto increment. This number I haven't added, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Those numbers will be added automatically. This is called as identity column. This column is called identity column and the value are incrementing. So this is called as identity values. Okay. Next, difference between the truncate and delete. Now next point we'll be discussing about difference. This is a very important interview question. Difference between truncate and delete. Great. So there are a lot of differences basically in truncate and delete, but I want to make it very simple that just don't try to make it more complicated. Just to remember, it is very simple and you want to remember by heart. So just note down like this. So which type of command, basically, you know, type of command we have in last video we have seen type of command. Truncate is a DDL command, right? And delete is a DML command. So what is it? Basically, truncate comes into the category of DDL and delete come into the category of DML. You may have a question that truncate doesn't change the structure of a table. Then also truncate is a DDL command. Yes, truncate is for deleting the all rows, right? But it also deallocate the pages, extends. It removes the pages in which the data are there. We know how data is stored in the pages and then extends, right? So that's why it touches the structure of a pages. It touches the structure that extends. That's why it comes under into the DDL part. Next is type of lock. When there is a delete happen or the truncate happen, what kind of locking happen? Type of lock I have categorized it. So here the table lock get happen. So when there is any truncate operation on a table lock get placed on that particular table. In delete, the lock which is placed, that's a row lock. Each row get deleted individually. So this is very important. Then condition. Can we use any condition with truncate? No, we can't use any condition with a truncate because truncate is a DDL operation. Can we use a condition with a delete? Yes, we can use. Next, logging in transactional file. Logging in log file, I can say transactional log file. What does it mean? When everything, whatever operations we do in a SQL server, each operation get logged in a file, and that file is a transactional log file. When we create a database, 2 files automatically get created. One is a data file, another is a log file, and the log file we call as a transactional log file, right? So what kind of logging happen? So minimum login here, just truncating data, because once we have done the truncate, we can't roll back if it is not in transaction. And for delete, the logging is more than the truncate, so more maximum logging happen here. Okay, performance, as truncate delete all rows, and it also perform in a bulk. I mean to say, it won't go by row, so performance wise it is faster. So truncate is faster, right? Delete actually happen by row basically, and each and every entry get captured into the transaction log file, so it is slower as compared to truncate if you want to delete entire table. Then permission, if we want to use a truncate, we should have the at least alter permission on a table, and if you want to do delete, then we should have the delete permission on that particular table. When we'll move to the some permission section, there I will talk about different permission, how to grant, deny, another part. Then one important point here I would like to talk about is reset identity column. Just we have seen how to add it and how to see it. So identity column value, basically when I perform a truncate, it get reset means it will be again start from the seed value, that's from 1. It doesn't get reset, does not get reset, right? Does not reset, actually you can say simple. It reset the identity value, it doesn't reset the identity value. Truncate deallocate all the pages and deallocation of pages. Truncate deallocation, it deallocate all the pages. We can say, we can categorize like a pages. What happened with the page? Deallocation happen. It means it remove the pages where the data are present. But if I am using delete operation, it doesn't deallocate, does not deallocate, right? Does not deallocate. Great. So these are the basic difference between the truncate and delete operation. This is very important question. In lot of interview, if you go for a fresher interview, those people will ask you. This is very simple. I don't know why they ask you, basically. Next part is temporary table. So what is temporary table actually? As we have seen, we have created actually the tables, and those tables are called as a permanent table. What does it mean? Those tables are created in a database and those are placed into the file. If I restart the server also, I will see those tables, correct? But there are a situation where we don't need the permanent table every time. We need the table on the fly. We require it on the fly, right? So there is a concept in SQL Server called as a temporary table. What is this for and how can I use it, basically? So temporary tables are the tables which works as which works like a table, right? There you can create index, there you can perform DML operation, there you can perform DDL operation, there you can perform DQL operation, there you can query the data actually. But once the connection has been closed, its scope get closed. So based on a scope, there are two kind of temporary table. One is called as the local temporary table, another is called as the global temporary table. I just open a new query window. What does it mean? It means that I have created a session with a SQL Server. This is my one session, this is my another session, this is my third session. So I have just 3 sessions with a SQL Server. So if I'm going to create a local temporary table, its session will be limited to the specific session, specific connection, I can say. if I want to use this table just for my purpose and I don't want to use this table by others, so I will go for the local temporary table. But if I want to create tables, if I want to create a table which can be used by other people till I have my connection with the SQL server, so then I will be going with a global temporary table, right? So how can I define it, and how can I identify these are the local table and the global temporary table? And before that, I would like to say about this temporary table get created in the system database, and that system database is a temporary database, right? So how can I define? If you are saying something prefix with a single hash, then you can consider it's a local temporary table. But if you are seeing something with a double hash, then assume it's a global temporary table. The syntax is like a normal table. I will show you this one. This create table hash test1 in id int. So this is my local temporary table. Let's create it. When I create it and when I run this select statement, what will happen? Let's try to show you demo. When I execute it, I can see this table has been created, right? And it has a column. Let's take this query and go to the another window and run that there. When I execute this query again, what will I see? I will see here invalid object name. So what does it mean? It means the scope is local to this query window only. It means scope is just for this session. Let's say if I'm going to create a new table with a global temporary table, so I need to prefix double hash. I'm changing the name just for clarity purpose. Here I'm creating it. Just copy it and just replace and just try to query this one. So when I execute this statement, what will I see? I will see this table is created and this table is having a one column. And let's go to another window and just query this one. What will I see? I will see this table has available with the SQL server, and I can see here, right? I'm seeing the column, so I am able to access this table. Now what I am going to do, I am going to close this session. So instead of closing, I'm just using one kill. I will talk about in later session. Just kill means this session will be closed. Okay, great. So just close it. I just close and let's execute this. So now you will see invalid object name. What does it mean? Though this global temporary table will be available till I have the session with the SQL server. Once it is closed, that will be dropped. So this is all about the temporary and the global temporary table. Next is data integrity. So what is data integrity? First of all, so data integrity is a guarantee of a data. I can say if I am specifying as any column, let's say age should be integer value. It should not be a numeric value. It should not be a character value, and it will give us guarantee that that particular column has only that value. Apart from that data type that doesn't have the different value, that is called as the integrity. That is called a data integrity of a column. So if I am specifying does my column has the data integrity, what does it mean? It means that columns defined by respect to data type should have the same value. It should not have the different kind of data type value. If I am switching as an int, then it should not have a numeric or the decimal value or character value. It should only have the integer value. That is what called as the data integrity for that column. Okay, so how can I set the data integrity? So data integrity can be achieved with the help of constraints. Okay, so what is constraint? First of all, constraints are the conditions, right? Constraints are the conditions on a column. When I insert the data in it, that time those conditions get checked and the values are placed accordingly, or errors will be thrown accordingly. It's okay. So let's try to understand a simple word. The constraint are the condition which are placed on the column in a SQL server to make the data integrity. It's not a rocket science, just try to understand. Let me repeat my statement. Constraints are the condition which are placed on a column to make the data integrity, and we know data integrity means the same kind of data will be having in that column. Okay. Right. So where can I define the constraint? So you need to define the constraint on a table. We can only define the constraint on a table. There is no other place where we can define the constraints, right? So what are the different types of constraints? Different types of constraint. So basically there are a few type of constraints. I will talk about that. The default. Before that I will talk about not null. Next is default. Next is unique, primary key, then foreign key, next is check. So these are very important constraints we'll talk about. So what is not null? If I'm okay, first of all I would like to give a small intro. How can I create a table? I can create a table like this. Create table, name of table I'm specifying as a demo. Create, I'm giving it an ID as a int. So this is my normal table structure, and here this table is having the table name, column name, and column data type. Now if I want to make if I want to say that this ID column should not contain null, right? Should not contain null. And if I'm creating it, it means I'm specifying this not null constraint. Let's try to show you practically. So I just created a table called as a demo. I'm trying to insert some data in it. Insert into demo, and let's specify the null. You will see here the warning, right? Let's read the warning. Cannot insert the value null into the column ID table. Column does not allow null. So if you want to specify that respective column should not allow null, then you should use the constraint not null. Great. Next is default. So default is the constraint which specifies the default value. For example, I am creating a table called as a default, and ID is this one. This is the code for setting the identity value. Can ignore this, otherwise just remove it for simplification. Name varchar of 100. Okay, here I am specifying constraint called as a default, and if I want insert the value for the name, then the default value Shrikant will be added. So this is my demo table. Just run it. After that I will show you this one, default demo, right? So I'm only inserting first column. I'm not inserting the name value. So let's see what happened. Now I'm just inserting one value, right? Let's create the table and insert the value in it, and let's see the data. When I execute this query, I will see there is a column called as a name, but I haven't inserted the value for the name, but the value for this column I am seeing as a Shrikant. What does it mean? So default is a constraint which specifies the default value. If you won't pass the value while insert, or if you won't insert the value, the default value get placed into it. Next is unique constraint. So what is unique constraint? So unique constraint give us a guarantee that a respective column is having a unique value in it. So unique constraint support one single null value plus unique values. So what does it mean? It will just add some null value. Let me show you demo for more clarity. So demo with unique something, I'm giving it as a null. I'm showing you the constraint called as a unique. Great. So here I'm inserting a value as a 1. Let's run it. Great. Again, let's try to run this query. What will you see? So when you'll execute this query, oh sorry, actually mistake. So again, just create this table. I will show you from start. We were using a wrong table. Drop table. Great. Run it. Okay, this table, okay, table is not created. Awesome. So let's create this table. I just created it. Okay, then insert the first value in it. So we have just specified unique constraint on it. Let's run it again. So here you will see one error, violation of unique key constraint, cannot insert the duplicate key in it. So this is just to maintain the unique data in it, so you can understand and you can create it. Okay. Next is primary key. Primary key is same like a unique key, but there is a difference. It doesn't support a null value. Unique key support only single null value, but primary key doesn't support any null value because null is nothing. I can show you here practically. So I'm creating a new table called as the demo primary. Here I am having one column ID. I'm switching it as a primary. Right? Let's run it. Let's create this table. Great. Then insert the first value as a 1. Then again run the same query and you will see the error that they cannot insert the duplicate value as a 1. Right? So this is all about the primary key. Next is I will talk about check constraints. So what is check constraint? Basically, sometimes it's required that we need to specify a condition while insertion of a data in it. So I'm showing practically. So I'm creating a table called as a demo check like this, and here I'm specifying check. Here you need to specify a condition that ID should be greater than 1, right? Otherwise throw the error. Okay, just create this table. I have created this table. Let's insert the value 1. It should throw me error, but it's showing me error, right? Because it doesn't support the constraint. So this is all about check constraint. In the next video we'll talk about the foreign key, and I'll show practical because that's a very big constraint. Hope you like our video regarding all this point, and thanks for watching, and we hope you'll enjoyed this video. If you like and enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe us, so we'll make more videos for you guys. Thanks for watching.